Morning guys, welcome back. It's a bit after, it's about 4:30 a.m. Yeah, and we're still chasing irrigation water. Yeah, so we've finished where we were. We finished where we were on the rice bays, and yeah, we've come down. It's probably a bit hard to see this, but we'll have a bit better look in the light. But my little mate, he sent me a text message there before, so to say that the water needs changing. So we'll close this bay outlet and open the next one, and yeah, it's a bit early in the day for doing this sort of stuff, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately. However, a little dog riding shotgun this morning. She's up nice and early. Alrighty, had a bit of breakfast. Yeah, getting a few bales of wool around us, which is good. Yeah, haven't got a lot of footage of shearing or any footage of shearing yet. Yeah, it's been plenty going on the last couple of days. Yeah, so it's just been a bit tricky. Yeah, so we've got a few here that are the last of. I actually mixed a couple of mobs together to bring them home, just some ewes that scanned empty and the single ewes. So this is sort of the last of them, and these couple of pens here, and the rest of them are the twin bearing ewes. What I'm going to do is, because these guys have been in, they've been off feeding water for about 24 hours now, a bit longer. So I sort of want to get them shorn first and get them out, and we can get them back out to the other farm. So we'll push these other ones in at the back out again, and we'll just fill these four. I'm hoping we've got 4 shearers today. We've 3 out of the what are we up to, day 4? So yeah, 2 out of the 3 days we've only had 3 shearers, which is a bit frustrating. Anyway, it is what it is. Yeah, so we'll try and get these ones that have been off tucker and water the longest out first, and then I can give them a bit of grain and get them on some water, and then we can get them back out to the other farm where they've got more room and a bit more to eat. Alrighty, a bit better explanation of this flood irrigation job. So we've got these outlets, excuse me, and we've got what we essentially call a bay. So this area's been laser graded, and then every 54 metres, I think, we've got a little bank that just keeps the water within that sort of, what we call it a bay, but yeah, keeps it in that area. Yeah, so you can probably see that there. So the bank's not very big, it's high enough to stop the water going sideways rather than downwards. Yeah, so our bays are 54, well, the bays in this area are 54 metres, but they do vary. Well, they can vary depending on you know, topography and how level the paddock is and that sort of stuff. This paddock's pretty level, so there's no actual sort of fall across the paddock, but the fall runs, you know, down the paddock the way the water runs. So yeah, so we've just got these. This is a different style outlet again. So they've got the rubber flap, and it's as simple as just opening up and letting And that's all it does, and the water just runs out. This bay next to us has been leaking a bit, but we can automate these. Again, there's a few different crowds now that are making automation for flood irrigation, but the Padman guys that I mentioned in I think in the last video that made the chatterbox there sort of into the automation, and they've basically got a 12-volt system with a little solar panel, and you can set, well, there's two different ways you can do it. You can set a timer up on that stop, so you know, if I time the first bay and it takes 10 hours, for instance, like I set this one going at, I think it was about 4:30, it's now 2:30, so there's 10 hours. So I could just set that timer for 10 hours and it would, you know, close this bay and open the next one. Yeah, so it makes flood irrigation, you know, a lot easier when you can automate it. But there's also now, you know, computer-based stuff where you can sit at home off your on your computer and just set it up. There's also our little chattel box, our little gizmo that's down the other end of the bay that will go and shift in a minute. You can set him up wherever you want, and he'll actually talk to the units back on the outlets. And yeah, same thing, open and close. You know, close the bay once that bay that it's in, and open the next one, type deal. So yeah, we're not at that stage yet. We probably it would be good just to buy a couple of timers, would make it a bit easier. But you know, generally we try and avoid getting up in the middle of the night if we can, as you could probably understand. So anyway, we'll close this bloke, and yeah, the next one, it's going to be a stupid change. It'll be a 2 AM or something like that, which is going to be a pest. So anyway, it is what it is. You wouldn't want me doing it every day of the week. So anyway, so yeah, see where the water's reached him again. You can see it's still running past it, and that's what we want It's a bit different here. That first bay, I'll just wander down there and show you while I'm talking. The first bay, I probably had it set down the bay a little bit further, and it actually ended up running into the drain. So we sort of try and not have too much runoff, so then we haven't got sort of water to recycle. But that bay's the previous bay. You can see the bin chickens there. Must be a few bugs getting around. Yeah, you can see here it's run to the bottom of this bay, so there is a drain down here. If you've been watching on for a while, you would have seen me stripped off to me jocks back in about November or October to pull a door out. That's where this water ends up in that dam. So yeah, the water just comes in here. We've got this little spoon drain that runs into and then runs down to the dam, and we can set a pump up and recycle it. So, but the end goal is to try not to, you want to water as much as the bay without having runoff off the bay. So yeah, it's tomato. It's a tricky one, but you know, you can't stop it happening altogether if you want to try and get the whole bay watered. So it'll be interesting to see how far this bay runs now that I've shut it off. The water is it's setting it up in the dark. The water is quite a way back there, but anyway, we'll see how we go. We might move him down a little bit, and I can come back and just check it later on and just see whether it's was about in the right spot. Righto, we're just back here at the yards. We're just going to vaccinate a few ewes. We've vaccinated everything off shears. Got the header mechanic here. He's got the guns out, got the shirt off. It's sunny weather, sun's out, guns out. Anyway, so yeah, just a 6-in-1 with cheesy gland and pulpy kidney, and this one's actually got a wormer in it as well, just to cover a few worms. So anyway, Jesse, no taste testing the sheep, please. Yeah, anyway, these are our twin bearing ewes, so we'll yeah, get them done and get them back out and boys aren't going to finish them today, but yeah, there won't be many left in the morning. But anyway, we'll get these done and get them back out so they can get a bit of water and a bit of tucker in them. Morning, yeah, last day of shearing. Boys will have half a day or a little bit more than half a day today. So yeah, just out the back here. We walked these ewes out here yesterday, and I was hoping to get them drafted up this morning, but yeah, it just hasn't happened. So I'm just moving them to another paddock, and a bit more shade. It's going to be hot the next few days. Yeah, we'll give them a bit of grain here in a minute. I've got the feeder out here, grain feeder out here as well, and but yeah, it's a bit of dust starting to kick around. It's starting to get pretty, well, it is pretty dry again, so but that's all right. So yeah, guys are just shearing the last of the twin bearing ewes, and yeah, we'll get them on some feed and get a bit of tucker into them as well. So yeah, it's all ticking along. Water's still going, still irrigating that paddock. I'm actually heading away late this afternoon for a couple of nights. Yeah, hopefully we can get a bit of footage of what we're up to. We'll keep that one under wraps for a mini. But yeah, the water's going to finish this morning, and then I've got it starting again Friday morning. So yeah, anyway, it's going to be good just to get away for a couple of days and have a bit of a catch up, and just heading away on my own with the motorbike and catching up with some mates actually. So yeah, anyway, we're still ticking along and still plenty going on. Alright, shearing is all done and dusted. This time round, I think we've ended up with about 38 bales of wool in total. A few more than usual, just with the higher sheep numbers that we've got at present. Yeah, sheep are all sort of back to where they need to be. We've still got, as I mentioned, we've still got those ones we need to draft up out the other farm, and the twinning ewes here at home are not far off lambing. Some of them, they're getting pretty heavy and starting to get a bag of milk on them. So Monday morning we've run into the weekend, or running into the weekend. I'm going to head off for a couple of days, just on a bit of a bike ride with some friends. Yeah, so we'll run them in on Monday and start and split them up into their groups, their pre-lambing groups, and get a bit organised for lambing, because I reckon 10 days time we'll start and get a few lambs on the ground, just to how heavy some of them are. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, keep subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one.